I'm gonna call rage bait first. And if I'm right, I'm gonna hit the Dougie or something as hard as I can. But we'll see.
Welcome back to another K-Dubs review. Today we're gonna be talking about Arc Raiders and the top 5 reasons that I think this game is gonna fail and it's not gonna last.
First off, he has a blue-collar accent, so he's got more calluses on his hands. So I don't even know if I'm qualified enough to react to his reaction video here. But you know what? I'm gonna give it my best shot.
So these aren't just my reasons either. I went through and looked at a lot of comments on my last video, and this is what a lot of people are saying. Not just on my comment section, but a lot of people's. This is what a lot of people are saying. So starting out with reason number 1 we got is the PvP. So apparently this game, I didn't know much about this game going into it, but apparently this game was just meant to be like a co-op game. You go in, there's like, you know, you just fight the robots and stuff, and there's some...
Oh, just looking at the gameplay, sorry. In the background, I'm just so fucking excited to play.
Some other players to play with, and you go
I love that gun. People hate it. I love it.
And stuff like that. But somewhere along the line, they kind of switched up the core principle of the game.
Oh, he's got COD fans. Wait, does he play COD? Is that his content?
Yo, what's going on YouTube? Today I got you.
Zombies? Battlefield 6? Okay. I see. So he is literally me. Oh, Battlefield 6 sucks bad. Here's proof. So I'm seeing a bit of a revisit something that works. So he's me if I didn't start playing the finals. Literally. He's me if I didn't start playing the finals. If you guys didn't know, now before he does play COD, yeah, I just wanted to check. I know a lot of Arc Raiders haters do this as well, but before I dog on him for playing COD, let's get this out of the way. Okay. Let's go all the way. Let's sort to oldest. This is my channel.
Good at recoil control, but I think this is something
my
you're
voice.
gonna need. I'm really enjoying the search and destroy scene, and we might stay here for a while.
He just shitted on you, man.
No, bro.
This is my video.
I did not know you're there. Not at all. Look at that knife.
I used to be called the nuisance.
Bro, I'm not like
this
that.
was me.
I swear I'm not that nice.
Report this.
So before I poop on him too much about being a COD player, used to be me. Okay, I did have the wherewithal, or however you say it, to leave, and I'm much happier for it. But that does skew, pun intended, his opinion here a little bit. If you are still addicted to COD, other games are not sustaining enough. It's like when you're addicted to a drug, is how I would compare COD. You complain about it, you hate it, but when other people criticize you for doing it, it's like your friend who smokes a lot of weed. I don't have anything against weed, but if you're like imply that maybe it's too much, it's that type of response. I think COD, in the dopamine chase type of art form, legitimately has people addicted. They hate it. They hate Activision. They are mad every single time they play when they get off. Not like normal games. Not like I play the finals and I get mad and I keep playing. It's different with COD. Like you hate your life when you play COD, but you come back to it. So it's different. So I still respect this guy's opinion 100%. So far, he's been super professional and he's citing other sources. So it's not just his opinion. I like the way he's going about it. Like we're like 60 seconds of the video, but keep in mind, when you are still actively addicted to Call of Duty, especially Warzone, you're addicted. You're the amount of dopamine COD gives you to make you buy skins and stuff literally skews the way you view things. Arc Raiders is a slow burn, which is why it's refreshing. So I'm just gonna put that out there.
PvP.
Yeah.
So that, you know, it
COD is the equivalent of
Coke.
Coke. I would compare it to crack.
Like Tarkov, for example, have PvP in them, and you know they want to be a little more relevant. So that's kind of what they did. They threw PvP in as like
that
a
is
little
wild.
attention grab, and you can kind of tell. You can kind of tell this.
I'll try and debunk his
I got
points.
a lot of comments about it, but the PvP just it feels very boring. It doesn't feel like they put too much effort into the PvP. It just feels like a thrown in aspect.
Keep in mind, he's talking about the server slam. This is his first ever impression of Arc Raiders. So again, I would like to give him the benefit of the doubt here. I think Embark did slip up a few times in some of their choices for the server slam, because the server slam was what came immediately after the huge hype for the people who are looking for a game that is like Arc Raiders. People played the beta, the actual official beta that came out, and fell in love with the game. There was more in the beta. There was more in the beta you could do than, like infinitely more than you could do in the server slam, right? Like you couldn't even craft or upgrade, you couldn't even craft for the benches. You couldn't upgrade any of the benches that you got. You could only upgrade your weapons so far. Some of the loot was worthless. So a lot of that was weapons and gear and like shields. And so player engagements maybe do feel a little boring. From his perspective, coming from COD, right? It seems repetitive and boring and slow burn and drawn out. The point of this game, and I think what people are falling in love with at the thought of it, is they understand. It's returning players who are already excited, or people visiting the genre, but they understand the loop. Like, we see past the horizon of the server slam of that gameplay loop of like the mother of the Ark. We're fighting that and getting that purple gear or whatever. But I think if you're coming from COD, you had no idea about this game other than just the hype. So you go to the server slam and you're like, what is this? So that's his perspective. Yeah, I think he's a little bit blinded by COD, but again, it's someone who only plays COD, and he's coming over to a game he's got no information of. So I kind of don't blame him.
So we got a comment right here saying, everything is fantastic except the other players. I genuinely have never had a worse or bad feeling time with a game due to PvP. It's too much effort to get a good loadout to lose to a team with free loadouts. Then,
dude, that's a skill issue. I'm sorry.
Your free loadouts runs out of ammo halfway into a fight.
Then loot ammo. What? What are you talking about? Then loot ammo. Then you didn't loot enough ammo. You're not getting jumped by a team of 3 as soon as you come into the map. You have to do some looting. Loot some ammo. And if you don't find the ammo that you want, right, you have enough ammo for an engagement. And if you're in a team, you're not playing with a team enough. Play solo. I didn't run into one team at all when I was playing solo. And if you're playing solo against other solo players, maybe a duo, you have enough ammo and a free loadout to take out these players. I'm sorry, but major skill issue.
With what this guy says, from playing the game for a while, I did realize it does feel like you're constantly having to just sit there and craft weapons nonstop. And the ammo, the amount of ammo you have and the amount of stuff you can carry, you just lose it very fast. I do agree with that point as well.
Lose it very fast. I mean, that's the point. But again, coming from someone who's coming from COD, not understanding the hype of this game and not seeing the entire game, I kind of understand where he draws that conclusion. It's not his fault.
And yeah, with what he said about the players. Now let's go ahead and hop into reason number 2. So for reason 2, this is what I think is probably one of the bigger deals for me. This is the biggest reason, really. The core gameplay loop. We got a lot of people talking about the core gameplay loop. So this is like the basic stuff you do every game. You know, the missions.
This is where the server slam is going to be
all that.
A bad
the basic
impression.
Grind of the game. The basic grind of the game is not fun, right?
Brother. All I'm going to say is Warzone.
And a lot of people are making the point, no matter how many maps you add into the game, no matter how many guns there are, you know, whenever the full game comes out, if the base ideal of the game's not fun, the whole game's not going to be fun, right? And that's true.
That's a fair point.
A game like Black Ops 7, for example, they can bring back Nuketown, you know, they can bring back all the other stuff, but if the gunplay, the grind of the game, if the just principle there is not fun, it doesn't matter what they add in, right? It doesn't matter how many maps you make. You got to have the fundamental principle of the game's got to be good.
That point is true.
Comments here saying Nice one. Judge the game on a test with
yeah, that's my big
25%
point.
Content of the last test.
LMAO, this is the game. No, you completely misunderstood what the point he's trying to make. The core gameplay loop is the same. No. Half the stuff you found is useless in this server slam. How do I say this nicely? How do I be nice here? How do I not be a dick? This is a lot of this is Embark's fault. This is just weaponized ignorance. Yeah, this is a marketing fumble. They see this like pink loot. These people probably just looked for PvP players just to play PvP if you're coming from COD. Didn't like that there wasn't slide canceling all over the place, which is something that is really important to me. Like, I'm a big movement player. I think there's just enough for me to enjoy this, but you do that and you don't find those little keys of big loot. The whole dopamine gameplay loop of this game is getting little things, and then getting all that money and gear and stuff you stocked up into one loadout and then going to do this big mission, this big thing, like go get this big arc, or get all the ammo you can't seem to find, buy and craft it from the little stuff you got, stock up on it, and then go out and just hunt raiders if you like the PvP. Because you get the ammo and earn it from the raids before, and go out with stocked weapons and ammo, and you go out with an augment that gives you more inventory slots. I think he kind of touches on a point that is actually a good point. They need more slots in your backpack by default. It does feel like you fill up way too often. I think so far, I know Arctis has said he gets a little bit more out of bounds later. So far, I really like the way he's presenting, even though this sounds condescending, and I don't mean it this way. Even though it comes from a place of ignorance. Ignorance is just a lack of information. That's all I mean. He's not ignorant, like he's not an ignorant person, but his point of view here comes from a point of ignorance. Also, there is a world, probably, where he knows the entire gameplay loop, if he ever watches this, listens to everything I'm saying, understands the whole picture, and then goes, yeah, I still understand, that's still boring to me. It's not for everyone. So I'm not saying he's ignorant. If he knew all of this stuff, I feel like his opinion would probably still be the same. There's also nothing wrong with liking just COD. You are a bit addicted to it. You should definitely try and break out of that habit. But trust me, especially just the off chance he sees any of this. Try to, dude, for views and stuff, you're stuck in view hell because you're on Call of Duty. I'm telling you, man. Just try some other stuff. But these points come from a place of ignorance, a lack of information, and it's not their fault. It is Embark's. I don't understand why they locked so much of that, but the loop isn't one round. These comments are people going in and playing one round with a default loadout or free loadout, getting killed by players that while they were standing straight up or hiding in a bush, and then going, what the hell? Or looting 2 crates, going to a extract, and then dying to PvP, or maybe making it out and going, this is boring. You have to play more than that. This is a long-term grind game, right? High stakes. They didn't give it enough time. And there's no clips of them to watch of people doing that because you couldn't brush above surface level because it was a server slam. Big marketing slip up in my opinion. I understand this point, but hit the gem, dude. I gotta hit legs a little bit too. I respect it. That's right. That's where I stand on that opinion there. So I don't blame him or them. I just want you guys to know that this comes from weaponized ignorance, which is a lot of the internet today.
The core gameplay,
which is not their fault. It's Embark's fault. It's not their job to know this.
This is the game. See, a lot of people understand this. We also got a comment saying, open beta is meant to be reviewed. If a game is not fun for someone in the demo,
it's not an open beta.
90% of the time, it would not be fun in the full version. I agree with that completely. I do.
Yeah, but it's not a beta.
Doesn't matter how much content is left to be added if the core gameplay loop is not entertaining.
The content is the core gameplay loop.
More of the same content won't change it. You might enjoy the game, and that's fine. The game has a lot of potential, but it needs everyone's opinions to make it stronger, not just praise.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I do agree with what that guy's saying.
Yeah.
There's a lot of praise. And also, another thing I want to point out that a lot of people don't realize, there's a lot of these games nowadays, like I noticed Borderlands does it. I noticed a lot of games do it. They pay for streamers to play them.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that.
Shroud guy, for example, I've seen him.
Shroud guy.
They get paid, these streamers, to make reviews and positive content about games. You know.
That is, yeah. I've seen this point being made about Arc Raiders. That is not why they're saying the things they're saying. Like, take like the biggest trending streamer right now, the Burnt Peanut, right? He is being paid to play Arc Raiders. He's doing partnerships with Embark. He genuinely is so excited for the game. He started his stream, which from a business standpoint, right? He didn't sleep for 24 hours because he was so excited for the game. You can't fake that, and you wouldn't do that because you're trying to put on a show. Like, you wouldn't do that on purpose. So these people, and he played with Shroud. These people are like this. You can tell, and I'm going to give an example. You can tell when people are fake excited for a game. And I hate to keep beating up on COD, but if you watched COD Next, that is fake paid excitement. You can tell that. When Swag is watching the BO7 reveal and he goes, "Oh my god, he threw a flash grenade," I know he was rage baiting, but that's what he's making fun of. That is not what we are seeing in these Arc Raiders reviews. People are, and I understand this upset because I usually hate extraction shooters and I get mad when people are excited about them because I don't want developer time spent on that. I'm a big BR enjoyer. I want time spent on those, right? But so when I see people gassing it up, I assume from my point of view that it's fake because I hate it. But it's not. There's a big difference. These people genuinely like it. It's the opposite it's the opposite of brain rot.
A lot of people are going to be faking it and overhyping it just because they get paid, man.
But
they get paid good to do that.
That's true. It does happen. But it only really happens to Siege players, Apex players, not so much anymore, it used to, and COD creators. COD creators are the only motherfuckers that do that, man. Notoriously. That I love Iceman Isaac right now because he was transparent and was like, I hate this. I think BO6 was a good game. I think BO7 is gonna be a good game. I'm gonna get BO7. I'm not gonna make content on it, but I'm gonna do what I did with BO6. I'm gonna drop a nuke with a sniper in the first few weeks, 'cause that's what I like to do. I'm gonna drop a sniping nuke with a sniper first few weeks, and then probably drop the game, which is fine. But it is the same thing we've gotten every single year. So to say that Arc Raiders creators who are being promoted to stream the game, when one, you play COD, and two, that's the only platform right now where people fake excitement, is kind of hypocritical.
So, you can't take everybody's opinion.
COD hate is also forced.
Love to overhype things.
Yeah. COD hype is forced, but COD hate is also forced. BO7 is not bad. It's just the same.
But it's definitely got a lot of mistakes. Let's head into the next reason. So the next one we got for reason number.
Other than Bobby Kiddick, like sexually assaulting all his female employees and then just not getting punished. Allegedly. I don't want to be sued for defamation, but that hate is fine. Also, Infinity Ward, terrible company. Like that hate is not forced. That's normal. But Sledgehammer, and Treyarch, and the other Moon one or whatever, they're great. And the past few CODs have been good. It's just the same. We're getting burnt out.
3 is the fighting is very boring.
I don't hate COD. But
and we got a guy saying, I agree with your pros and cons of the game. What I think really kills the game is the poor gunplay. For a game with such rich environment, it feels so generic and Fortnite-ish.
Dude, oh my god. This is literally the IGN review part 2. No, it's not. No, it's not. Let me stop myself there. This guy is so much smarter and better at debating and articulating his points than the IGN guy. The IGN guy is just a loser. This guy is being as respectful as he can while trying to be critical of a game that he thinks is getting overhyped. I respect that. But the Fortnite-ish label is so stupid. Also, that is the most successful game other than Roblox on the market right now. How is that a knock on the game? It's not. It's Fortnite-ish. Awesome. Like, hundreds of millions of people play that, and it is so old. It's nothing like Fortnite. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. Just because it's third person doesn't mean that it's Fortnite. I know you cannot ADS in the game. That does not mean that it feels like Fortnite. I think these people associate the last third person game they played was Prime Fortnite in like season 2, like me, and then they go, yeah, I remember third person game. It's Fortnite. It looks more like GTA. Look at this with the circle in the center. Looks more like GTA than Fortnite if you're talking about third person shooters.
I definitely agree with what this guy says about the
as a D1 COD hater.
This game's got an outstanding world.
Yeah,
COD. The world that's here is super cool. It's freaking awesome.
It is.
Awesome
that's
world.
the big appeal.
I give it credit for that. It feels good, looks good, sounds good. But yeah, when it comes to the fighting, feeling like Fortnite, I do see what he's saying there. The fighting is very boring. Like even fighting the robots, for example, it just feels like you're just shooting at them. Like there's not much.
What else do you want to do? What else do you want to do? Do you want a dance battle? Do you want to Camp Rock? Camp Rock. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? You want to do what the IGN dude did in Melee? Melee the flamethrower? Boring?
Freaking sometimes I'd be shooting at a robot and if you don't hit the certain area, you have to put in, like I was using a shotgun and I had to put in like 10 shots on one robot to destroy it.
Yeah, they destroyed humanity. They're not supposed to be easy. It's not zombies. Like, it's supposed to be, you're supposed to avoid them unless you are actively seeking them out. Again, it is not his fault. Embark has to advertise this in a more see-through way. If you are coming into this game knowing what it is, you enjoy that. It's not his fault, but man, his point, how do I say a point of view is wrong? But you understand what I'm saying, right?
And just the
It is just because it's third person.
Just the whole like gunplay, it's just not too much to it, you know. It just feels very boring.
Bro, I hate to keep bringing up COD, but what does COD do differently than any other FPS? I will say it feels good, feels responsive, but it's boring too. Gunplay is gunplay. What is wrong about it? I don't understand. Whatever. It's fine. I'm not going to harp on this. He doesn't give any supporting points, so I just don't think this has any floor to stand on.
There's not too many factors, not too many skill gaps to learn.
Oh my god, am I an unk? I think I'm an unk now. This is the first time I've ever gotten upset at the word skill gap, ever in my life. I get upset when a game doesn't have enough movement. I get mad. Like, I get upset. I think I'm going to drop this game because the game doesn't have enough movement. That is the type of person I am. That's why I love the finals. That's why I used to love COD. I hated MW2 because they took the movement skill gap out of the game. But man, does that is not an Arc Raiders term. Like in this, that's not what you're looking for. And I guess it's PvP, but he's talking about fighting the robots and talking about. Also, when you leveled up your character, I know what he's feeling. He's probably level 1, no skill tree done, probably doesn't even know there's a skill tree. When you level up your stamina, which you will in the first week, it does feel good. You don't run out of stamina. You go in light, and the moves you do don't cost stamina anymore. There's even a skill tree point where when you mantle or roll, you don't use any stamina. Then you could start rolling on dudes. That's what I'm excited for. I'm a movement player. I used to be a rebirth demon movement god. It used to be me, man. That's where I got my 20K on TikTok. I'm telling you, I'm not just an unk from forever. I know what you're talking about. That feeling is in this game. You have to level up your character. Oh, it just doesn't work here.
You're just shooting at stuff. There's not much else to it. You don't really have to think that much about it. You just aim in and shoot.
That pistol,
I do agree with this. And the PvP combat is even worse. it feels like crap, the PvP combat. So yeah, that's the reason.
That's, again, I don't want to criticize him on that. It does. In your first few rounds, your PvP interactions feel like crap, which is probably why so many people walked away from 1 or 2 rounds of this game and made their opinions on it. But Embark needs to realize just calling it a server slam is not how people are going to look at this game. You had an unbelievable amount of hype after the beta. That's when all of these people should have played. Now it's a server slam. You're assuming everyone who's playing it is going to know all this stuff about it, and you limit everything about it. You just want to see how many people can get on here. They don't realize that these are their first impressions. And then we get people like this guy who makes his opinion on the game and is definitely not going to get the game now because he has no idea about it, and he got a bad first impression.
Number 3, let's
get it's sad. It's tragic.
Reason 4 is kind of a goofy one, but it's also a very valid point. We got a comment saying, fair review, my eyes opened when I remembered that it is not free. So
it's $40, bro.
I will say that the game only being $40 instead of $70, that's really awesome. That's a really good aspect. But the game not being free, this doesn't feel like a really paid experience. It just doesn't. It feels like it should have been a free game, to be honest.
Why? Because you're playing 5% of the content? Is that why? Probably. There's no lore explained yet, which is like 90% of the appeal of the game. There's no progression. There's nothing other than like level 1 weapons unless you grinded and knew where to look. Does that why it feel like there wasn't enough content? You didn't... That's because it wasn't there. This is not his fault, it's Embark's fault. Server Slam was a huge setback. Yeah, it is a marketing disaster.
It feels left out, and I think that's probably why they lowered the price instead of having it as a full game.
No, it isn't!
It doesn't feel like a full game. So yeah, I do think that's going to hurt the player count a little bit, of course, you know. But that will probably help with cheating and stuff. There will probably be less cheaters because of that.
It's PvPvE, man. It's not just PvP.
So that is a decent little reason. You know, it's not a free-to-play game. I know, not the biggest reason. You know, you can say that for about any game. But yeah, let's get into reason number 5.
I'm getting frustrated. I really, from his perspective, if I put myself in his shoes, he is viscerally uninterested in the game. So if you're trying to give kind of neutral criticism, but you want the point to get across, like, hey, I'm seeing all this hype. Everyone keeps telling me to get this game, and then I did. I tried it, and I, didn't like it. So, his attitude is, quit hitting me up about this game. Look, I tried it. It was trash. A little bit of that is gonna come through when you're giving your thoughts on it. I hope people understand that you didn't play the game. This is what demos used to be. Like betas used to be. When you would get a demo disc, a physical copy, this is what they used to be. It's like the entire gameplay loop is what they left out. And if you knew that stuff was there when the full release comes, you're excited. If you didn't know about any of this and you played this because someone told you to, you're like, this is shit. That is the problem that's happening right now.
Reason number 5 is my own reason. No comments about this.
Sticky pirates be nice.
It's just something that I think would have helped the game a lot. I think this would have helped the game a lot. I feel like this game could have benefited from having more of a storyline.
See, and that sends my point home. If you follow Arc Raiders, that's a big if. If you follow Arc Raiders like we obviously do, you know that the story is going to be one of the biggest selling points for this game over the gameplay or whatever. I talked about it in my initial vid about this game, why extraction haters like this game or don't hate this game. The story gives me the same feeling that I'm picking up in the soundtrack and everything about the lore of the game. Gives me the same feeling I got when Halo 3 came out. That is probably one of the best narrative-driven games of all time, if not the best. And I think you would have a very hard time arguing to me that Halo 3 is not the best story-driven narrative game of all time, in my opinion. I know there's Red Dead Redemption or whatever. I think Halo's lore is out 1 through 3. Okay, I don't want to hear all this 3 for 3 industry crap. We'll ignore that. But that's the problem here. From his perspective of taking a I'm gonna be generous and say 6-hour break from COD, and then probably went back to Warzone, which is a good game. Everyone hates Warzone. I still like it, but probably went back to Warzone. This is his impression. He has no idea. It's Embark's fault. It's not his. He doesn't even know that's there. We hound Embark for being bad at marketing all the time. This game is a quality product, just like the Finals is. And the Finals has its fair share of issues. It'll stay where it's at forever, probably. But Arc Raiders has the potential to make it mainstream, and everyone who actually knows about gaming and stuff, professionals like these streamers, are like, holy crap, this is the next best thing. When more of that information gets out there on full release, I think Arc Raiders will hit peak player count in like a month and a half after release. When enough content is made, circles around, people like this guy will go, I didn't even know this, and this were in the game. I had no clue. I thought it was just like when I played that beta, he'll call it a beta. Back then, there was none of this. This wasn't fun. That's when this will pick up. Everyone who's excited will play opening weekend, first month, and then they'll go, holy crap, I didn't know about this. Embark needs to be better at marketing. They need to make television commercials, man, that showcase not just how beautiful it is, but it needs to be like, here's a little teaser about our story. You need to focus on working together when you can, but if you like, it's you against the Raiders. The Ark literally wiped out humanity. Obviously, they're going to be harder to kill than a Warzone player. Just putting it out there.
A little more of a storyline, instead of just a mindless. If you've ever played games, for example, I've mentioned.
Shocho, bro, is this what it was like talking to me about other games when I was addicted to COD? It was, wasn't it? Is this like the frustration I'm feeling right now? Is this what you felt every single time I would defend COD? I can't imagine how you felt.
Last video, DMZ. The storyline sucks. You're just dropping in, you're looting stuff, and you're extracting, and that's what the missions are. That's all the missions are. The missions don't feel like actual missions. They just feel like, go here.
We all know he's wrong. I don't need to touch on it.
And that's what this game feels like. You know, that's how
feels
the
like
missions feel on here.
And I don't blame him.
It also kind of, if you've ever played Fortnite Save the World, it feels like Fortnite Save the World missions, which is exactly.
At least he named a niche or mode. He didn't just say Fortnite.
Same. It's not a very immersive storyline at all.
That's just so crazy because it's gonna be one of the most immersive storylines, I think. Obviously, I don't know yet, but the Embark tends to back that stuff up. Now, balancing in PvP, they do a terrible job at that. But when they talk about like stuff they're passionate about and they're gonna push something, it's usually pretty good. And they're really like they're telling us the narrative is something they really took into account.
It just isn't. And you know,
it doesn't seem like Fortnite at all.
To be good, you know, whenever I was first seeing this cutscene in the beginning of the game, I was like, okay, this looks cool. Who are all these characters?
Yes, and then you didn't see anything else about it because it's a server slam. It's a server slam. I'm getting upset because I'm like, I feel like he's not listening to me, and he's just on my screen. Obviously, he doesn't hear anything I'm saying yet, but.
Is this a spot I can go to? Is this like an area I can go see?
There's like 6 other maps.
It's just a menu. It's just a menu. Like all these NPCs you go to trade, like you go to a trade shop. It's just like a little screen. It's not an actual place you go to.
That's a good criticism, which put on my tinfoil hat. If you see a second
like, you know
ago.
How in Destiny, you got the safe hub.
Yeah, here, look. This, if I'm wrong, let me know. But in the beta, this was a still image. In the server slam, this is a 3D rendered place with people walking around. Why go through the trouble to make this if you're not going to make it explorable? I think in the full game, this is going to be one of the biggest surprises because it's one of the biggest feedbacks they've gotten. I think we're going to be able to go up to these vendors, but that'll fix it. If not, this is his like first or second maybe legit criticism I'm going to agree with. This hub, Destiny is another great reference he gives here. Like the little area between raids would be great to be able to hang out in and do stuff in. They need that.
It's called the Tower. I feel like this game could have been.
This is a good point he's
like
making.
the tower, where you go there, there's other players walking around.
Stinky Pirates, I agree. It should have been called a demo.
Stuff like that. You could buy stuff from vendors, and there's actually.
Bro didn't understand Server Slam is literally a tier lower than open beta. No real gun, maps, lore. Just a way to slam the servers to see if they need to upgrade. Exactly. And again, Embark overestimates the IQ of people going into stuff like this. I'm not saying his IQ is low. I just think if I was him, coming from my main game, everyone is talking about this game. I'm going to reluctantly try it in my off time. I'm not going to do any research. Embark needs to understand that, and I don't think they did. And I think they overestimated people's IQ in that sense.
Actually vendors there. There's actually people there to talk to.
I just hope Speranza isn't always online.
And,
yeah.
You know, you could buy stuff there.
I hope Speranza is system side, and I think the only other players that are going to be in there will be your squad. That would make sense, I think, to me. Like, just you and your squad members going around in between each raid, and then you go out to meet the other raiders. And it would be cool. I don't know. That's my take. I really hope you can walk around Speranza.
It would have been cool. It would have been way cooler with something like that. They could have had the cutscenes could have been there for, like, after you complete a mission, you go there, you get a cool cutscene.
Yeah,
stuff like that.
I agree with him wholeheartedly here.
Storyline instead of just missions like go here, turn a satellite dish on, extract. You know, that's boring. Or
it is,
here,
but that's not the game.
Robots, you know, grab some parts, extract. That's not a cool mission. That's not very. There's nothing to that.
Yeah, because they're hiding the story. They did vanilla missions because they want you. They don't want to spoil anything. And
so yeah, those are the top 5 reasons that this game.
They are learning. And the problem is, Arctis, is that Embark. These are their first 2 games, and unfortunately for them, their marketing team, their first 2 games killed it. And they are not a AAA studio. They killed it to the level where people forget that they're not AAA. Like Marathon, this gets compared to all the time. Marathon is Bungie. That is a massive development team. Embark has a few hundred, maybe 200. Bungie has thousands, and Embark is beating them. So I understand marketing team is probably like 11 people. But that is where they are losing the most. I know their heart is in it. I trust Embark over there. But, man, this is a big slip up in an otherwise, like, clean resume. I don't know what it'll go into making a commercial and getting it televised or whatever. But they need that type of stuff. They need the brain-dead Super Bowl football watchers to see an Arc Raiders ad. And the amount of cool stuff that needs to be in it makes them need to go, ooh, I want to do that in game. They need that. Welcome back, Snorlax.
You know, there's good aspects to the game. Definitely is. I think some people.
See, he's trying to be respectful. I like this video.
As a full game to pay $40 for, I don't know, man. I don't think it's I don't know. What do you guys think, though? Make sure to leave your comments below, man. We might do another review or something if you guys got some more comments. But yeah, man, make sure to subscribe for more game reviews and more gameplay. We play a lot of Call of Duty, Warzone, and stuff on this channel. And we'll probably be starting to play other games and reviewing them and stuff. But yeah, see you guys. What's going on?
Yeah, so I am gonna like that video and subscribe to him because I do like the way he went about that. From his point of view, he was very mild-headed. I really like the way he described his points and made an effort to give respect to the other side of it. And from his point of view, he doesn't know that there is that more to the game. He doesn't know it's there. So he's genuinely trying to be like, here's the criticism. No one's talking about it. I want to be heard. And I understand that. So I respect that. I'm going to probably post my reaction to this now that I know that this is such a big issue. Hopefully he sees it. And yeah, it was a W video. I liked it. And I'm going to see some of his comments here. Oh, here we go. After playing the game some more, learning from viewers and comments, I've started to actually enjoy the game a lot more. Some of my points don't stand anymore. Okay, here we go. I am by no means saying it's perfect like everyone else. Fair. I will make an updated video soon on what I liked about the things, and I think the game can add or improve on things that I felt were lacking. But really, if you play this game solo and you embrace the stealthy combat, it can be very fun, for real. Sweet. So he's way ahead of us. I think I'm going to info review this channel. And starting to play other games he's only played. Yeah, I was gonna say other game. He meant other games. He meant Battlefield 6 Battle Royale, and I don't blame him. But that's cool. So he read some of his comments and went back probably, which means he only posted this on the first day of the server slam, and that's awesome. I'm glad that he came in and self-reflected that. Your fifth reason is spot on. This concern was raised from my last test. It feels cool to be out in the world, but lifeless to be thrown into menus. Also, after completing some missions, there are cutscenes. Yeah, that's the one I agreed with. Like, I think Speranza needs to be explorable. You need to have to walk up to the vendors and go. Then you could feel like you're kitted out. You put on your fit that you buy, whatever. You got your weapons on your backpack in the loadout you have equipped, and then you walk to the tunnel, close the hatch, and go out. I think that's the biggest thing Arc Raiders is missing. Speranza needs to be explorable, and that's good criticism. This game has this weird, twisted dopamine system. You'll have a blast when all you do is loot the second floor of the damn medical building and get a lot of loot but see zero action. Then it crashes super hard when you try to play more aggressive, more risky, etc., whether it's PvP or PvE risk. Just like any extraction shooter, it abuses your senses to make you either really enjoy or really hate the game at periods. At the end of the day, it's still a PvP extraction shooter, and from the record, one of the most toxic, unenjoyable genres player bases. I could see the hype around this game if it was a free... I don't know, he lost me there. I think he kind of contradicted himself. What's this guy say? The main thing is to make negative videos for clicks, loser. Okay, this guy's just being a dick, this guy. This is a good point right here. Yeah, complains about the price being $40, then turns around and spends hundreds of COD. You can't hold him playing COD against him too much, but that price point issue's there. The server slam is worth free. I understand. The server slam makes it feel like it should be free, but the full game is worth 70, at least 40. But all right, there we go. I'm glad he self-reflected. I'm probably gonna post this as a video.